From the moment we're born, we're surrounded by stories. Stories about who we are, where we come from, and what we're meant to become. We grow up believing our identity is fixed, a story shaped by childhood, family, and community, as if it's written in stone. We cling to the idea that once we know who we are, we've arrived. It feels comforting to think there's a final version of ourselves waiting to be discovered, a single answer to the question, who am I? This belief feels safe, but it's an illusion. The truth is, our sense of self is always shifting, even when we try to hold it still. Our identity isn't a statue, it's a garden, alive, changing, and needing care. Just as a garden flourishes with attention and adapts to the seasons, so do we. The myth of a fixed self keeps us stuck, afraid to change, and worried that growth means betraying ourselves. But life is change. Every day brings new choices, and every choice shapes us in ways we can't always predict. We learn, grow, and are shaped by new experiences. Each lesson, each encounter, adds a new layer to who we are becoming. Think back 5 or 10 years. Are you the same person? Likely not. Your dreams, your fears, even your values may have shifted as you've moved through life. Challenges teach us resilience, new people expand our minds, and passions emerge unexpectedly. Sometimes, what once defined us fades, making space for something new. These aren't just external events, they reshape us from within. Embracing change is courageous. It means accepting that uncertainty is part of being alive. It means letting go of the need for a perfect, unchanging story. Instead, we can write new chapters, revise old ones, and allow ourselves to be works in progress. We are works in progress, not failures. Every brushstroke, every page, every day adds depth and color to our lives. Change doesn't make us unreliable. It makes us human. It connects us to others who are also growing, learning, and evolving. Our shifting identity is a response to life's unpredictable journey. The path isn't straight, and that's what makes it beautiful. Acknowledging this is the first step to living wholeheartedly. When we accept our own evolution, we open ourselves to deeper self-compassion and understanding. Authenticity is more powerful than the illusion of consistency. True connection comes from showing up as we are, not as we think we should be. Give yourself permission to evolve. Your story is still being written, and that's what makes it extraordinary. Identity shifts are triggered by life's big and small events. Sometimes, these changes are sudden and unmistakable, while other times, they creep in quietly, almost unnoticed, until we realize we're no longer the same person we once were. Graduations, marriages, losses, or even quiet dissatisfaction can shake our foundations. These moments, whether joyful or painful, act as turning points, reminders that life is always in motion, and so are we. These moments force us to redraw our internal maps. We start to question what matters most, what we want to hold on to, and what we're ready to let go of. Becoming a parent, for example, isn't just a new role, it's a transformation. It changes how we see ourselves, our priorities, and even our dreams for the future. Loss or hardship can strip away who we thought we were, revealing resilience we didn't know we had. In these moments, we discover strengths and vulnerabilities that shape us in unexpected ways. These experiences expand us, not erase us. Each shift adds new layers to our identity, making us more complex, more compassionate, and more real. Shifts are natural and necessary. Resisting them is exhausting. When we allow ourselves to change, we find a sense of peace and acceptance that can't be forced. Life demands flexibility. Our identities must adapt. Every new environment, relationship, or challenge asks us to grow in ways we never expected. Change isn't failure. It's a sign of a life fully lived. It means we're paying attention, learning, and allowing ourselves to be shaped by our experiences. The more we accept this, the more gracefully we navigate transitions. We move forward with less fear and more curiosity about what's next. See these moments not as crises, but as invitations to grow. Each shift is a doorway to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Every shift is a chance to become more authentic. Embrace the invitation and let each change bring you closer to the person you're meant to be. Major milestones, like graduation, moving to a new city, or starting a first job, often act as powerful catalysts for identity shifts. These moments mark the end of one chapter and the uncertain beginning of another, pushing us out of our comfort zones and into unfamiliar territory. Leaving behind the label of student or the comfort of a familiar hometown forces us to redefine who we are. Suddenly, the roles and routines that once shaped our days no longer apply, and we're faced with the challenge of creating new ones. The familiar context is gone, replaced by blank spaces and new possibilities. In these moments, we must build a new sense of self, often from the ground up, learning to navigate uncertainty and embrace the unknown. This process can be disorienting, even overwhelming at times, but it's also a rare opportunity for reinvention. We get to ask ourselves who we want to become and what kind of life we want to create. We sift through memories and habits, deciding which parts of our old selves to keep and which to let go. It's a process of gentle self-examination, letting go of what no longer serves us and making space for growth. These transitions push us to look inward and ask, what truly defines me? What values do I want to carry forward? And what new strengths can I discover within myself? Is it my job, my location, my relationships, or is it something deeper? Something that remains steady even as everything else changes. Stripped of external labels, we have the chance to connect with our core values and rediscover what truly matters to us. It's in these quiet moments of reflection that we find clarity. These moments challenge us to build an identity rooted in authenticity, not just in the validation or expectations of others. We learn to trust ourselves and our journey. Growth happens when we step beyond the comfortable and familiar, daring to try new things and meet new people. Each step forward is a small act of courage. The discomfort is real, but so is the opportunity. Every challenge is a chance to learn more about ourselves and to become more resilient. Change is where we find our truest selves. By embracing the unknown, we discover the strength, hope, and authenticity that have always been within us. Our work shapes our identity. Job titles become shorthand for who we are. But sometimes our career no longer fits. Burnout, shifting values, or a longing for more can spark a crossroads. The label that once defined us now feels constricting. Changing careers is daunting, especially with external pressures to stay the course. But listening to the call for change is an act of courage. It's about choosing purpose over prestige, fulfillment over familiarity. Redefining success on your own terms may mean risk, but it's a journey toward alignment. The process is messy, but it leads to a more authentic, engaged self. Your work can become an expression of who you truly are. Transformation begins when you honor your calling. Relationships profoundly shape our identities. Falling in love merges I with we, shifting priorities and perspectives. A healthy partnership encourages growth, not loss of self. Shared experiences and struggles expand who we are. When a relationship ends, we must rediscover the I. This can be painful and disorienting, but it's also a chance for renewal. Rebuilding after loss means reconnecting with your own passions and strength. The journey is about reclaiming independence and finding resilience. Love changes us, and so does its absence. Each chapter leaves us more self-aware and whole. Not all change is external. Some shifts happen quietly within. Restlessness or a sense of missing something can spark a personal revolution. Questioning old beliefs is a sign of growth, not betrayal. Moving from inherited to chosen identity is a powerful awakening. Practices like mindfulness or journaling help us listen to our inner voice. We may discover neglected parts of ourselves and realize we've been performing for others. Embracing internal change takes courage, sitting with discomfort and uncertainty. There's no clear destination, only a continuous process of becoming. The identity that emerges is more flexible and aligned with our true self. It's not about what we do, but who we are. The quiet revolution within is where authenticity is born. Our instinct is to resist identity shifts, grieving the self we leave behind. But letting go creates space for something more authentic. Shedding old roles allows us to ask what we truly want. Living in alignment with our values brings deep fulfillment. Navigating change builds resilience and trust in our ability to adapt. We become people who see the unknown as opportunity, not threat. Embracing our evolving identity deepens our connections with others. Sharing our stories of change creates genuine community. We realize we're not alone in our struggles or growth. Being a work in progress is something to celebrate. Joy comes from embracing who we are becoming. Accepting change is one thing, embracing it is another. Show up for your evolving story with compassion and curiosity. Practice self-reflection. Journal, meditate, or simply sit with your thoughts. Ask, what am I learning? What feels true? What am I drawn toward? Stay connected to yourself as you change. Surround yourself with people who support your growth. Connection eases the fear and shame of change. Be willing to be a beginner. Let go of needing to be an expert. The magic happens when you're open to learning and discovery. Show up, be seen, and be brave enough to start anew. Identity isn't a straight line. It's a lifelong process of becoming. The goal isn't perfection, but authenticity in every stage. Embracing shifts is an act of self-acceptance. Every version of you belongs in your story. Redefine your relationship with change. See it as a sign of life, not a threat. Stagnation leads to rigidity. Growth keeps us open and engaged. Let your story be a living document, co-authored with your experiences. Dare to show up for your own becoming. Let go of who you think you should be and embrace who you are. This is your one wild and precious life. Embrace the beautiful, messy process of evolution.